Hello everyone, hello everyone, and welcome to this audio podcast. This audio podcast, as part of the Congress, this audio podcast as part of the Storm, as part of a Storm Scrutile. This audio podcast as part of Storm and Ostix analysis. This audio podcast as part of the Bookish. This audio podcast as part of a Storm and Ostix production. Through this audio podcast today, looking at the research gap, research approach, the sort of strength and limitations, the research question, strength and limitations of a publication a sort of a co-authored publication from a co-authored publication in on this where author where authors where authors Mohammed in around 2023 with Mohammed and team from in around 2023 look at a sort of a review of pathology and analysis of approaches easing kidney disease impact and host pathogen communication and biomedical visualization perspective. The publication formed a chapter in a Springer as part of a Springer book chapter, a Springer pathology book chapter, and as part of the research question, as part of the research gap or approach. The publication of the chapter publication looked to understand the importance of navigating healthcare systems in context of the publication or chapter publication looks to look at sort of the laboratory medicine perspectives in around pathology and analysis easing or alleviating kidney disease impact in around the sort of biomedical visualization perspective of and in around sort of examples examples of varying sort of strategies to sort of visualize the impact of SARS-CoV-2 and to alleviate symptomologies around SARS-CoV-2 in around where healthcare service users can be suspect or high risk for the symptomologies owing to aspects aligned to being immunocompromised or immunosuppressed. So the research, and as part of the research question, the research and a part of the research question, the research question, the Springer chapter publication looks to describe additionally sort of host pathogen communication and biomedical visualization perspective on principles of angiotensin converting enzyme 2 or ACE2 in context of immunology and impact on renal pathophysiology in additionally in around SARS-CoV-2, and the chapter the publication is within the remit of a scientist's perspective on laboratory medicine and integrated transplant immunobiology services for CKD recipients. As part of the strength of the publication looks at discovery looks at in and around the discovery of coronaviruses, biomedical classification, the renal health and COVID-19 correlation, renal cells and COVID-19, biomedical visualization and analysis of COVID-19, understanding renin-angiotensin aldosterone system pathway and role of ACE2 during COVID-19, and immunobiology and the complement system, in addition to the literature interlinking immunobiology, pathology, and pharmacotherapeutics. The chapter looks to understand challenges surrounding laboratory analysis through literature, and the publication offers a good overview and highlights how SARS-CoV-2 infection symptomologies could be precluded through pharmacotherapy. In a part of the limitations, the publication informs of how cytokine response on renal epithelium of the importance of cytokine response on renal epithelium, and how research investigating this has not been substantiated in context of SARS-CoV-2, but does not additionally does not highlight for example, highlight sort of the laboratory investigations that could be utilized to investigate further. That draws this audio podcast to a close. This audio podcast is part of the Congress. This audio podcast is part of a Ztorm Scrutal. This audio podcast is part of a Ztorm and Ostix analysis. This audio podcast is part of the Bookish. This audio podcast as part of a Ztorm Lobostics production.